Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys a video today, and I never thought that I would really be covering this topic, but I am. Um, as I was going camping the past, uh, 4 days from Wednesday to Sunday, I was finding out all this news about the stuff going on between Alberto, El Patron, and Paige. Um, kind of interesting to see how it happened. I'm not going to say a lot about it, but apparently there's been some drama going up between those two over the past week. So I figured I would kind of give my thoughts on it so that way I can talk about it. So I'm going to do just that right now. Okay, so I think the best way first to tackle this topic is to kind of talk about the what's how they got together and stuff, because I've actually never really talked about Alberto El Patron and Paige's relationship because I've never really had to because Alberto El Patron um, hasn't been with WWE and Paige has been signed but hasn't been uh, in a WWE capacity since I believe July of 2016. So I figured I would kind of talk about what's going on building up to this situation. So obviously, everybody probably knows. So this is going to be me being. This is going to be just me rehashing old information. But um, like I said, I've never talked about this. I haven't talked about Alberto El Patron or Paige really since they've been in WWE. The last time I talked about Paige was when her sex videos got released with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods. So I haven't talked about really much of their situation um, in about almost a year now. So I figured I'd do that. It might be a little over a year now, actually. But let me just talk about it. So obviously, everybody knows in October of 2015 at the Hell in a Cell at the WWE Hell in a Cell pay per view, Alberto Del Rio returned to WWE. He had been gone for a while because he was fired in um, August of 2014 because he claims he was, being someone was making racial comments at him, so he violently attacked him, um, and he was fired. The guy though that made the racial remarks was not fired, so that's a little bit sketchy. So Alberto Del Rio was released by WWE in August of 2014, um, and um, he went on to um, wrestle as Alberto El Patron in the indie scene, and then WWE got upset because they were lacking the Latina star. They wanted to really push a Latina star, so they wanted to bring back um, Alberto Del Rio to WWE, and he came back in October of 2015, like I talked about before, because he had been promised all these pushes, and it looked like that he was gonna be starting off really well. He defeated John Cena at Hell in a Cell for the United States Championship, accepted his United States Championship Open Challenge, and it looked like that they were going to start to do some really good things with Alberto Del Rio, but then they stuck him with Zeb Coulter because he also returned the same night, and they tried to do the whole Mex America thing. It really didn't work, so then eventually Alberto Del Rio went on to form the League of Nations with Rusev, Ken Barrett, and Sheamus. That group failed. It was that group just had no heat behind it, and they always lost. So eventually the group disbanded. Um, in I would say maybe April. I'd probably say April, May of 2016. I don't exactly remember the time frame. So then Alberto Del Rio did his own thing as a single star. Really wasn't getting anywhere. Um, and but during this, you had Paige, and Paige is kind of doing some questionable things. Um, Paige literally had turned heel around the same time Alberto Del Rio was brought back, and she did the storyline with Charlotte for the Divas Championship. where she brought up Reed Flair's death. That got so much hate by WWE because the Flairs didn't give WWE permission to do that. Um, so they pretty much dropped it. Paige was literally faced within the next month, which really didn't make any much sense. And yeah, Paige just kind of was just there. She really wasn't being utilized all that much, which she really could have been because they were starting to do the whole Divas Revolution. Um, but yeah, she wasn't utilized all that much. She was a cast member though on Total Divas, and one of the things that they talked about was Alberto Del Rio and Paige. Let me just make sure I have the time frame of when they got together. I want to look this up real quick. I want to make sure I have this exactly right. Yeah, they started dating in May of 2016, actually, around the same time the League of Nations broke up. What the weird thing and the weird thing about this too was it was featured pretty prominently on Total Divas. Natalia talked about how she didn't like it, and I don't know if it was just used for Total Divas or if Natalia really didn't like it. But thinking back on it now, so and obviously around this time, Paige was starting to become very sketchy. They even did things, segments with her, how she really wasn't putting in much of a work in the WWE. It didn't really seem like she cared anymore. Um, so then eventually, and we found out eventually too, WWE didn't want Alberto Del Rio and Paige together, which I wouldn't blame them because Paige is like um, Paige is like 22, 23, 24-ish, I'd say. And yeah, Alberto Del Rio's like, I'm actually going to look this up because I have his Wikipedia page up. It says that um, he's 40 years old, and Paige has dated somebody that's like way older than him, which isn't uncommon. People do that. But this is just kind of weird. What was messed up about it was Alberto Del Rio was married. He was married. It actually says right here to Angela Belka. I don't know how to say her last name. They were married in 2012, and they had 3 children together. And it was just kind of messed up. So then eventually they divorced in September of 2016. Obviously, when they found out about this whole Paige fiasco. But WWE, like I said, didn't want them together, so they did everything that they could to split them up. During the WWE draft in July of 2016, Alberto Del Rio they drafted to SmackDown, and Paige they drafted to Raw. And obviously, Alberto Del Rio and Paige were upset about this. And ironically enough, a month later in August, Alberto Del Rio was suspended for, I believe, steroids. Um, and eventually, he was already claiming he was on his way out. So eventually, he quit WWE or he was released. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It could have been both. And yeah, he was gone from WWE in August of 2016. And Paige, still right now, is under contract with WWE. Um, but she hasn't really been seen all that much in WWE. We haven't seen her. I don't even think since I think July of 2016, for what I remember, when she challenged Charlotte for the Women's Championship. That's the last time I think I can think of we saw Paige. Maybe even it was definitely around July of 2016. So we haven't seen much of Paige, and Paige has been suspended off and on. Um, Paige has been suspended twice. Um, and yeah, I sometimes question why they keep her under contract since they keep suspending her and stuff. And then we found out that at a house show in October of 2016, Paige proposed to Alberto. Now he's Alberto El Patron again, to Alberto El Patron, and now they're engaged. Um, and yeah, pretty much. Since then, Paige and Alberto El Patron's career haven't been Paige's career really hasn't been the same since she's been with Alberto El Patron. She pretty much has thrown away her WWE career. She was actually I think, in a pretty decent spot in WWE. I think she could have been used better. but her first night, Paige's first night in WWE, um, she you know won the Divas Championship on the main roster. At the same time, she was the NXT Women's Champion, and she's the first ever NXT Women's Champion. They pretty much pushed her to the moon, and she was an integral. They made her an integral part of that Divas Revolution they were talking about. So I thought that was kind of weird. Um, and yeah, obviously she's a two-time Divas champion now. Obviously, they have used Paige better? Absolutely. But they were using Paige pretty well. She was she had a pretty decent feud with AJ Lee for the Divas title. She had some good matches with Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. So Paige was slowly up there. She was definitely, like I said, could have been used better, but she even had some decent matches with Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship as well. But then, um, yeah, it seems like ever since she's been with Alberto Patron, her WWE career has gone to shit. And obviously, I don't know if WWE really wants to fire Paige because literally The Rock is making a movie about Paige's career. Um, and yeah, um, The Rock's making a movie about her. He showed up on Raw like earlier this year to do. I forget exactly when to help film that movie. It was like after the show, and then yeah, then eventually we haven't seen much of Paige since. And it's not what's not helping her is obviously Alberto Patron because he's been talking crap about WWE. He's done drunk rants on Periscope about WWE, just trashing them, talking about how he would never work there, calling out Triple H to have a fight with him, um, and pretty much talking about how he's been misutilized and stuff, how he'll never go back to work with WWE again. He even trashed it after he won the after he unified the Impact and GFW World Championships in the main event of GFW Slammiversary. Um, and yeah, so Alberto Patron just won't let it go that he's been released, that he's been let go by WWE or quit, that he's been treated like crap there. And I personally don't see it that way. Alberto Patron, one, just needs to let it go. WWE has moved on from him. Why don't you move on from WWE? Another reason I think that he needs to move on, he needs to stop it with WWE is when he was brought into WWE, he was pushed to the moon instantly. I remember he came in, his first night in the company, he defeated Rey Mysterio, a former World Heavyweight Champion. He had a pretty decent feud with Rey Mysterio, went over in that feud. He won literally like his first year in the company, he won the Royal Rumble, the largest Royal Rumble match in WWE history, the 40-man Royal Rumble. He wrestled Edge at WrestleMania 27 for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, in Edge's final match, he won the Money in the Bank ladder match, cashed it in, and became WWE champion. Um, and he got to work programs with CM Punk, John Cena, and had some great matches at has some good matches at WWE champion. He's a two-time WWE champion, but then he got hurt, and then in 2012, he didn't have the best year in 2012. He had a pretty mediocre World Heavyweight Championship feud with Sheamus. Had a pretty mediocre feud with Randy Orton, but he was still working with top names of the company. Eventually turned face, and he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Big Show. And then, defended it at WrestleMania against Jack Swagger. And then eventually, he lost the title the next night, won the World Heavyweight Championship back at Payback 2013, held that title up till Hell in a Cell, and lost it to John Cena. And yeah, pretty much after the World Heavyweight Championship went away, I'll admit he wasn't utilized as well, but it was used. They pushed him tremendously when he first came into WWE. He was WWE and World Heavyweight Champion multiple times. He won the Royal Rumble and he won Money in the Bank. So I don't know really what he's complaining why he keeps trashing them for a company that pushed him pretty well. I mean, he was one of the top world champions there. So really kind of weird how that works out. So obviously that's kind of where we're at now with Alberto Patron and Paige. Um, and obviously Paige, her past is caught up to her. Obviously because of that cell phone hacker hacking her sex videos with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods, that really hasn't helped her all that much. Not Paige's fault that that happened. Her phone was hacked. There was really nothing she could do about it. So yeah. Um, and now ever since then, I can't watch any of Paige's or Xavier Woods matches the same ever again. Um, but now there's other stuff going on with Alberto Patron and Paige that I'm going to cover right now. Okay, so now let me talk about what's been going on with Alberto Patron and Paige as of last week. I'm going to read these. I have a bunch of articles I'm going to read out loud because they all have to do with this situation. So I'm going to start off with the first one. And yes, this is the name of it. It's called Alberto Patron being investigated for alleged domestic violence incident. And this article was it comes from WrestlingNews.com, and it was presented by Angel Rodriguez. It was published by her, and it was published on July 10th, 2017. There was an incident at Orlando Internet. This is like the report of it. There was an incident at Orlando International Airport um, at about 3 p.m. Sunday involving um, Jose Rodriguez, um, date of birth May 25th, 1977. The reported incident was a domestic violence battery, and it's still under investigation. No arrests have been made as of this time, but the case remains open. This is all the information we have for release at this time. Um, Alberto and Paige were seen at the Universal Studios. Were seen at Universal Studios on Saturday, and I'm going to try to show you this picture. But this is a picture that they took via Paige's Twitter. Can't really see. Let me just see if I can lower the brightness on my phone so I can show you. Tell me, I don't quite know if you can see that, but that's a picture that they took together. Just got to get back to it now. And this is what Paige said at on a Twitter at Universal Orlando. Time with the family at um, Roots Roots of Fight. I think that says hashtag family stick together at Pride of Mexico at Hijo de Coast Chorus. And this is the original stuff. Former WWE superstar and current GFW champion Alberto Patron, real name Jose Rodriguez, is being investigated for an alleged domestic incident, according to a story on TMZ Sports. The report says that the incident occurred at Orlando Airport on Sunday, and the police department was contacted about Rodriguez allegedly roughing up a female companion. The name of his companion was not confirmed by the police, but it's no secret that Rodriguez and Paige, whose real name is Celia Jade Davis, I think that's how you say that, are engaged to be married. Witnesses at the airport say that Rodriguez um, was arguing with the woman at the airport terminal, and things escalated and there was an altercation. A law enforcement source told TMZ that Rodriguez was not sorry, my the stuff on my phone was not arrested, and there were no charges filed, but investigators are still gathering information. Um, so obviously that's pretty messed up. Um, but I'm not going to give my thoughts on it yet because uh, there's more articles to come. All right, so now we get the next article, and this article was called Paige Issues Statement um, After Reports of Domestic Incident with Alberto Patron. And this was published by Corey Jacobs, and this was published on the same day as the other one, July 10th, 2017. Just going to read this out. Following the reports of a domestic incident involving Alberto Patron in Orlando, Paige issued the statement. This was on her Twitter, at RealPaigeWWE. This is what she had to say. Damn it, I got a message and I gotta get back on it now. Just give me a second because I got kicked off. Sorry about that. I got kicked off because I got a Facebook message and tried to ignore it, but I accidentally clicked on it. But this is what Paige had to say from her Twitter. We got the cops involved. I'm crying because I found out bad fam news, and a lady tries to take a pic. She gets angry, throws a drink on at Pride of Mexico. And she tweeted this on July 10th, 2017 at 3:34 p.m. And then at the same time, she writes, please leave us alone. That's it. And then it says, as noted earlier, the Orlando Police Department is investigating an alleged incident that took place at the um, Orlando airport on Sunday afternoon. The story reported by TMZ states that police were called about Alberto allegedly roughing up a female companion. While Paige's name was not specifically mentioned in the police report, witnesses at the airport say that she was seen with Alberto. It should be noted that Alberto was not arrested and no files were charged, but investigators are still gathering information. And then it has the statement I read in the beginning about what the police statement says. But yeah, so that's Paige's reaction to it. But I'm not going to give I still have more stuff I got to read, so I'm not going to give my thoughts on it just yet because there's still more to come. Okay, so now we have the next article I'm going to be reading. Audio. Paige heard yelling, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to get away from you in airport incident. There is more to the story reported on today. And this article, by the way, was reported by the same person on the same date. There is more to the story reported on today regarding the domestic incident involving Alberto Patron and Paige at an Orlando airport. In audio obtained by TMZ Sports, Paige can be heard yelling at Alberto and telling him that she is pressing charges. You can clearly hear her say, stay out of my life, leave me the fuck alone. A witness at the airport says that the couple was arguing and Paige stormed off. A police officer spoke with Alberto, but there were no arrests made. The statement from law enforcement contradicts the statement made by Paige earlier today, where she seemingly downplayed everything and said that there was a third party involved who threw water in Alberto's face, and that was the reason why cops were called. Law enforcement Law enforcement officials did not reference a third party, and they classified the incident as a domestic violence issue. Here is part of what was said. Stay out of my life, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to get away from you. All the time, yes, you deserve it, inaudible. Alberto can be heard saying that he was going to call the cops and press charges. She replied, press charges if it gets me the fuck away from you. It gets me the fuck away from you. And then Alberto can be heard saying, let's go, I'm following you. A witness who is a wrestling fan is heard saying, don't follow her, I'm a huge fan, by the way. Alberto then claimed that the two got in a fight in a restaurant. And then it says the audio The audio was recorded by a wrestling fan that saw them at the airport, and you can hear it down below. So it's kind of weird though that like a wrestling fan comes up, tells her to leave her alone, but then he's just like, by the way, I'm a huge fan. It's just kind of weird how we kind of segue and switch the topic during a serious situation like that. Just kind of weird. But I'm not gonna give my thoughts on it yet because there's still more articles to come. But yeah, that if you didn't think, if anyone had thought that Alberto Patron was innocent, um, that audio could say otherwise. Okay, so then I'm going to read the next article, and this is called GFW Releases Statement Concerning Alberto's Domestic Abuse Investigation. And this was published by Aaron Balbo on July 10th, 2017. When news broke about Alberto Patron concerning the recent alleged domestic violence abuse, there were plenty of people not only worried about the entire situation, but they were also concerned about Paige and Alberto in general. It's terrible timing to say the least, as Alberto had just unified the GFW and Impact titles to become GFW's global champion at Slammiversary. Alberto was also heavily featured in the next set of television tapings, which are scheduled to air the next 2 months. Alberto's employer, Global Force Wrestling, has now officially released a statement to Pro Wrestling Sheet about the ordeal. And this is what he had to say. Global Force Wrestling takes all legal situations very seriously and is looking into this matter. GFW is a privately held company and will thoroughly investigate this incident and fully cooperate with law enforcement. Please keep in mind that this is still an ongoing investigation. No real motives or conclusions can be drawn just yet. As with every other case, we should wait until police have concluded their investigation, but nonetheless, just the fact that we're talking about this kind of isn't a good idea. Isn't a good deal. In case you missed it, the Orlando police released their own statement on the matter, which currently leads us to believe that this is an ongoing investigation, so as stated above, no conclusion should be drawn up just yet. In their statement, the original PD said there was an incident at Orlando International Airport at about 3 p.m. Sunday involving Jose Rodriguez, date of birth May 25th, 1977. The reported incident was a domestic violence battery and is still under investigation. No arrests have been made as of this time, but the case remains open. This is all the information we have for release at this time. Um, we will be keeping a close eye on this situation and let you know as soon as anything progresses. Well, apparently things did progress, because now let me kind of segue into the next article I'm going to read. All right, so I want to read this next article now, because this is called Witness Alleges Paige and Alberto Patron argued about cocaine use during airport incident, says Patron, leaked of alcohol and more. And this was published by Nick Paglino on July 11th, 2017. As noted, audio was released of a domestic battery incident, which involved Alberto Patron and Paige at the Orlando airport this past Sunday afternoon, and the audio reveals El Patron accusing Paige of domestic assault. As of this writing, no one has been arrested following the incident, and no charges have been pressed. And Orlando police are investigating El Patron for domestic battery. Prior to the audio being released, Paige posted 2 tweets explaining what happened. I'm at the airport, which I've read. However, the truth of the tweets became suspect following the release of the audio, which appeared to contradict what Paige claimed on social media. Paige claimed on social media that the incident involved a woman throwing a drink at Alberto Patron, implying that was the issue's catalyst. The witness, however, spoke with Heavy.com and called Paige's allegation completely false. She added that Al Patron reeked of alcohol as he chased after Paige inside the airport. The woman then said Patron and Paige were arguing back and forth, screaming at each other in the airport, and that Paige, at one point, claimed Patron had been doing cocaine for 2 straight days and was abusing her. The witness is reportedly from Tampa and was dropping her mother-in-law off at the airport when she spotted Paige coming out of a restaurant looking upset and pacing back and forth while on the phone with someone. Paige did not. Paige did note on social media that she had received bad news about a family member, um, which is what made her upset. And this can be also verified as photos of her um, alien uncle had been posted on social media, which is I'm not going to go on the photos right now because I'm not signed in my Twitter and I don't really feel like don't remember my account. The witness also admitted to discreetly trying to take photos of Paige as she walked and talked on the phone. Paige apparently noticed her and walked back into the restaurant as one of the 4 people um, as her table walked out, presumably to check and see if she was still there. Paige suddenly came storming out of the restaurant, crying and yelling. Al Patron, who at that point was visibly soaked in liquid, chased after Paige as she went to the nearby tram system. The witness believes the argument started because Patron said something negative about the uncle. The witness said, "From what I gather," he said something like, "I hope your fucking uncle dies tomorrow," and grabs her wrist because he was mad she was on the phone for so long. They wanted to leave, so he got mad and grabbed her wrist. She got upset and threw water on him, and she ran out. The witness then followed Paige and Patron as they emerged on the tram, and she overheard Patron saying at one point, "Check her bag. She's got all the coke in it. It's all hers." That is when the witness pulled out her phone again and tried to record the argument, which was where the TMZ audio came from. So yeah, that's kind of sounds a little bit messed up there. Not sure what to make of that, but I'm not going to give my thoughts on this yet because I still got a few more articles to read. Okay, so now I have the next article, and this is called Paige's half-brother claims to have photos proving domestic abuse from Alberto Patron, says Patron will not let Paige return to WWE. This was posted by the same person on the same date. As noted, Zach Bevis, the real-life brother of WWE superstar Paige, took to Facebook and wrote the following regarding the domestic battery incident involving Paige and Alberto Patron this past Sunday at the Orlando airport. And this is what he had to say. Um, I've got to say, I'm very worried about my sister. Please keep an eye on her. She had one prick known as Brad Maddox who took advantage of an 18-year-old girl, physically and mentally abused her, and now she's with a control freak who think he's a tough guy because he's beat my sister and has money to cover his tracks. I love my sister. She will end up like Whitney Houston or Amy Winehouse, Zach continued. Please share this. I want the world to know that I care about my little sister. Everyone keep an eye on her. You'll be angry at me, but I love you. I'm writing this on behalf of all the knights. Paige's half-brother also Paige's half-brother Roy has also weighed in on the situation, posting several comments on Facebook claiming the family has photos of domestic abuse Paige has suffered um, at the hands of Alberto Patron over the past 6 months. 6 months. Roy wrote the following: "We got pics from the last 6 months, Ro, of her beaten. I'm glad she's finally sticking up for yourself. um, yourself. The reason there's fight yesterday is because my uncle on his last legs in hospital, and he wished him dead. Roy wrote sick. She needs to get away from that simple, though. Well, now it's out there. The answer to all your questions. I keep getting asked, is there my sis won't be going to WWE because he won't let her. He's trying to get her sacked by keep running on about them. So many people in the wrestling world hate him but are scared to say it. Why? So that's another situation article about this situation, and now I want to get on to the next one. Okay, so now on to the next article because this article really takes the cake. I've already read it, but then I found these other two articles in there, so I wanted to make sure I read that. Breaking news. So this article is called "Breaking News: Global Force Wrestling announces indefinite suspension of Alberto El Patron." Um, so let me read what it says. This is from WrestleZone. This was published by Nick Huseman on July 12th, 2017. Global Force Wrestling has just issued the following. Global Force Wrestling has indefinitely suspended Alberto El Patron, effective immediately until the investigation is resolved following a recent incident in Orlando, Florida. As noted, El Patron is currently under investigation by the Orlando Police Department for alleged domestic violence battery again following an incident on Sunday, July 9th. The incident involved current WWE talent Paige based on audio and photos that have leaked since our initial reporting. Since the initial reporting, members of Paige's family have come out publicly against Patron, while Paige herself has claimed that the incident was one that was caused by a woman throwing water on Alberto after Paige received bad news about her sick uncle. However, that woman has come forward and was interviewed by Heavy.com, admitting that she was the one that recorded the audio that was published by TMZ and claiming that the argument between the two included allegations made by Paige of drug use by Patron in the 2 days leading to the incident. For more complete details on what has transpired up to this point and the developing story, including comments from Paige's family regarding Al Patron's alleged history of domestic violence, click here. Um, but I'm going to leave all this stuff down in the description box down below. I just want to make sure you guys know that. Patron has not commented publicly since the investigation was reported. GFW had previously promised to conduct their own investigation. And that's it. I think there's one more. Um, there's one more. There's like two more articles I'm going to read, and then I'll give you my full analysis on this whole situation. Okay, so the next article is called "Latest on When Alberto El Patron is Expected to Return to GFW," and this was published by Chris Featherstone on July 13th, 2017. As reported on WZ, Global Force Wrestling made the decision to suspend GFW Global Champion Alberto El Patron following an ongoing domestic battery investigation for an altercation with his fiancee Paige at the Orlando airport this past Sunday. GFW released a statement. Global Force Wrestling has indefinitely suspended Alberto El Patron effective immediately until the investigation is resolved following a recent incident in Orlando, Florida. On the recent conference call, Jarrett did state that GFW will not edit El Patron out of any episode of Impact Wrestling because he was so heavily involved in the storylines at the latest tapings. F4W Online stated that GFW sent out a press release promoting their upcoming event on August 6th in Bridgewater, Connecticut. In the release, Al Patron was still listed as one of the headliners, although being suspended. The promotional material states the superstars of Impact Wrestling, featuring Bobby Lashley, the Pride of Mexico, Alberto El Patron, and EC3, among others, are taking their show on the road to Bridgeport, Connecticut on Sunday, August 6th, marketing one of the first ever live events for the new look Impact Wrestling. So I'm guessing that's when he's going to be back. Alberto El Patron will be back with GFW on August 6th. And he was suspended on July 13th, so he's not even going to. Well, actually, he was suspended on July 11th, actually. Well, July 12th. Sorry, I'm reading so many of these articles. From what I'm understanding, he was suspended on July 12th, so it doesn't even sound like he's going to be suspended a month. But I'm not going to give my full thoughts on this yet, trying to remain unbiased reading all these articles, because I think I have one more article to read left. Okay, I'm going to read this one final article, and this article is called Paige Gives the Full Story on Airport Incident with Alberto El Patron. This was posted by Angel Rodriguez, and it was published on July 12th, 2017. And this isn't the tweets, this is actually something different. Paige has issued the following statement regarding the airport incident from Sunday afternoon. Alberto didn't want me to say the full story because he didn't want people to know, and I didn't want people to know, and I didn't want people to know that I threw a drink on him. But the full story is, I had a phone call saying my uncle is in a bad way. I'm crying outside the restaurant. I go in, Alberto is hugging me. I'm a little sensitive, and we start bickering about something so small. I say I'm leaving, and he says something that I won't write on here, but it wasn't nice, and I even uh, and and I even though I shouldn't have done it, I threw a drink in his face because I was so angry. Again, shouldn't have done it. It was in front of a lot of people. I walk out. He follows me a few seconds later and gets the cops and security, and a crazy lady decides to leave whatever she's doing to follow us and invade our privacy and the completely low way. Our low life people, what only low life people would do. The statement continued. Anyways, it was me who was being held for battery charges because I threw a drink on him. No, he never touched me, and no, I never hit him with a glass 3 times like the internet and all their glories making out. It's completely ridiculous how one story can spiral out of control. Oh, and guess what, Internet? He smelled like beer because I threw beer on him. Nothing more, nothing less. No one got arrested. There's no mug shots. There's no charges. Nothing. The horrible, disgusting human being of lady decided she wanted to make money out of our misfortune. I wish people would give us the privacy we deserve. I know we got I know we won't get it, but I wish that would happen. That's the end of that article. And then now I can finally give my full thoughts on this situation. But all these articles that I've read, I'm going to leave in the description box. I try to say them in order as the dates they happen. But yeah, I just am but this one I just found recently, so I wanted to make sure that I did so. But I don't think there's anything else. I think I've covered everything. All right, so now I want to give my thoughts on this whole situation with Alberto El Patron and Paige. Um, and it's really kind of tough to say because of how many stories have been going around. I'm hearing a lot of stories about Alberto El Patron, hearing Paige's story. Um, and I do want to say one thing first that I really feel bad for Global Force Wrestling GFW because they tried to rebrand themselves. And try to, make a new company, try to have a new fresh start, and they put the world championship on Alberto El Patron, and then something like this happens. I actually kind of do feel bad for him in a sense. But then again, maybe you also have to do maybe you should do a little bit of a background check before you put your world championship on somebody, because this is an example of what happens. And now Alberto El Patron's been suspended, and they have all these episodes taped of him, and yeah, it's gonna be tough for people to forget about it. Um, so that's my first thing about where I stand with GFW or whatever they're calling it now. So what kind of sucks about this too is I was actually considering. I'm still going to, but I was actually considering watching TNA, Impact Wrestling, GFW, whatever they're calling it now. I am gonna be start I did mention it in my channel update video. I am gonna start watching that company. I'm just gonna call it that company for now. I'm gonna start off by watching Slammiversary and then reviewing every episode afterwards. And I'm gonna do this until the end of the year. And if I find that I'm enjoying whatever it's called now, I will continue to watch it every week. But it just kind of sucks that this situation happened. Then I was considering not doing it. Um, but then I was like gonna just do a virtual Patron protest, kind of like what I'm doing with Roman Reigns. But the thing is I'm just gonna look at it like this. Um, then I'm gonna get like these comments because it is a reason to do so. But then we have also Stone Cold Steve Austin. He did the same thing when he was the top guy in WWF, and the WWF/WWE, what they're called now. You have Jerry the King Lawler, who reportedly did the same thing. A lot of people that have done it. Yes, it's been able to be covered up because if this, I'd have a feeling if this situation had happened back in the Attitude Era, no one would have actually known about it, and we would have continued to watch Alberto Patron's matches. Um, but yeah, I have a feeling that Alberto Patron, I have a feeling Paige's story isn't probably bullshit, but I have a feeling that Alberto Patron probably is beating Paige. I really wouldn't be shocked about that. Just Alberto Patron, I've always thought he was a scumbag. I never cared for Alberto Del Rio / Alberto Patron. I never cared for him when he was in WWE. I always thought he was bland, and he just wasn't anything special. And yeah, I think that he is a scumbag. I think that he's an absolute douchebag. Um, I mean, he pretty much cheated on his wife, um, and went after a girl that was a lot younger than him. Paige doesn't help the situation because she dated a guy that was in his 40s when she's in her 20s. Like she's dating a guy pretty much that is 20 years older than her, roughly. So that doesn't really help Paige's situation. But Alberto Patron also took advantage, I think, of a young girl. Um, and yeah, um, like I said, cheated on his wife, and now he's going to have to pretty much admit what he's done to his three children. And then you also have the fact that you have Alberto Patron, if he is beating Paige, which I'm assuming he is, I'm totally against the idea of domestic violence. Obviously never cared much for it. It's cool for a man to be hitting a woman, and also for a woman to be hitting a man, no matter what anyone wants to say on that situation. Nobody of the opposite sex should be hitting each other. I just personally think that it makes you look weak, and it just shouldn't be happening. Um, and yeah, Alberto Patron pretty much has just fucked over Paige's life. Um, I mean, she was doing pretty well in WWE until she got into a relationship with him, and then yeah, now it's just been suspension after suspension, and maybe that's why, and that I could kind of see it being the reason that he is talking crap about WWE now. Maybe he wants to prevent Paige from going there and getting away from him, because maybe she'll finally see that she can do way better than Alberto El Patron. I really wouldn't put it past him. The WWE, I think maybe now had every right to escape it. Now, and from listening to that audio, it just totally sounds like that Alberto El Patron probably was drunk and on cocaine. But yeah, it's just weird. And GFW had every right to suspend him. They just can't have that type of publicity of Alberto El Patron, somebody like that. What does kind of suck, like I said, is that they've taped all these shows um, in advance, so it really doesn't matter that they have suspended him because he's just going to be able to be brought back on television by the time they stop doing live shows again. So kind of suspending him was kind of pointless if you think about it now because he's going to be featured pretty heavily on the shows for a little while. So it's going to be weird. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on it. Alberto Patron. I've never liked Alberto Patron. Never will like Alberto Patron. He's just an absolute douchebag. Um, and I hope Paige can wisen up and actually leave Alberto Patron and get out of that relationship. I do appreciate her family for sticking by her. Um, and I appreciate that. Both her brothers, and they're actually going about it in a better way than her parents did when her sex tape got revealed with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods. I don't really think her brother though really needed to go there with Brad Maddox. I get he was trying to send a message, but kind of keep it with Alberto Patron and stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of messed up. Um, and that's just pretty much my whole thoughts on this situation. Um, So pretty much to put it in a nutshell, fuck Alberto Patron. I also kind of have to say though, Paige kind of got herself in this situation. She just wasn't smart enough to get out of it. She dated a guy like Alberto Patron who was older than her and was an absolute douchebag. I get when you're being abused, it's not the easiest to get out of that relationship, um, but it is doable. She could go to a family with this if um, so. It's just kind of weird. It's gonna be weird too. I haven't really talked much about this. Once Paige comes back to WWE, she's gonna be kind of in a not really in a nutshell, but everyone's gonna kind of know what's been going on with her. So I do kind of question the reaction that Paige will get when she does come back in WWE. So this is just all a weird situation. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my whole thoughts on this situation. It's messed up, but that's how it is, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna pretty much end off this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Um, like I said, a lot of this information was rehashed, but like I said, I've never talked about this stuff before because of the fact that when they did get together, that's when I kind of wasn't watching WWE. They were already out of WWE, so it really wasn't anything fresh originally. But now that now that this has happened, it gave me an excuse to kind of talk about the whole Alberto Patron's Page stuff. So I hope you guys found this video to be somewhat enjoyable. Um, and I will try to remember to put in the description box all these articles that I read to you. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. And please make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator YouTube channels. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.